You know, we've done that a lot in our career. We've broken boundaries, but with different movies. I think with in Dumb and Dumber with Harry and Lloyd, we're not set out on breaking boundaries. We're just trying to get people to laugh, and they don't. I don't think they have to go as far as some of our other characters in other movies, but because they're so pleasant. You know, they mean well. They're coming from the right place. Unfortunately, they're a little dumb, but they're very, very funny.
And they do. And when we do break boundaries, it's not a conscious effort to break boundaries. It's just we find that funny, and so we try to put it in. And if it's a breaking a boundary, that's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
There's something very, I don't know, endearing about them.
Mm.
Right.
Do you agree? And very human.
Yes.
Do you think that's why they're appealing and you feel for them?
I do.
Or
I think,
one feels for them.
I think
the
so.
audience.
Yeah, I think if you didn't feel, I think you feel for them basically because they're like little boys, you know, and they can't help it. You know, that's just who they are. But they mean well. They do. They're not malicious people. They're like little boys. They don't know better. And but because you like them, it's like we can get away with a lot of the gags that we do. I mean, they go in to the old lady in this particular movie, and it's like, you know, it's like they don't know what they're doing,
Yeah.
and so it becomes funny. There's no malice intended.
Yeah, there's something very innocent.
Yeah. Did you hide it inside this turkey? You know, that kind of stuff is just that's them. They're little boys. They really don't understand what they're doing.
And introducing Kathleen Turner, I thought it was great. I love her. She's
so
I
great.
think everyone
cool.
loves her.
She's an old-fashioned
she's
movie
fearless.
star. Yeah.
Fearless, don't you?
Yeah.
Fearless.
Yeah.
That's the word.
How was the whole thing with her?
It was an honor to work with her. We wrote it for her. And by the way, we dressed her down for the movie. You know, we fluffed her up and did stuff, but we knew she would do it. I just knew it. I never met her, but just from watching her body of work, I said, I bet she'll do this. And she did, and she signed on, and she becomes so important in the second half when she's the one who's like, why, you know, her reactions to what they're doing at the end make the movie for me. So it was an honor to be with her.
Is there a tribute to James Bond films sometimes through the dialogue? James Bond.
Oh, because they reference James Bond here. Well, you know, Pete was saying that, like James Bond, Harry and Lloyd are the same person at the beginning of a movie as they are at the end, and Bond is too. You know, Bond is a superhero. You know, he's a super spy at the beginning, and he is at the end. It's just all about his adventure, and that's how these guys are. They don't really change, you know. And I like the comparison.
Was it interesting for you to come back after 20 years and meet them, and how much have they changed? Or
Yeah,
not
well,
as characters, but as actors, I guess.
You mean
And
Jim
you-
and Jeff?
Yeah, and you have changed too as directors.
Yeah.
You're a little older.
We're older than they are. I mean,
We're
didn't.
all older.
They didn't age much. Jim and Jeff look great. We don't.
No, you do.
You know, you used to be able to see my entire eye 20 years ago. Now it's like I got hoods coming. You know, but
They might have had some work done, you know.
You never know, yeah.
no, but no, they. It was fun, but it was exactly the same. Immediately, first take, they were right back in it, and it was like time had stood still.
It was like we had just stopped filming a month ago, the original. They went right back to where they were.